All right, welcome everyone to the Offshore Hack4Wind Hackathon. Today is a warm-up live session, and in this slide, you guys can see all our amazing partners of the event. We will talk about them later on during this call. Basically, let's start with the house rules. So as you can see from the notice that you have on your screen, this meeting is being recorded. The purpose is to make it available on YouTube and on Eventornado, which is the hackathon platform that we will use for this event. On Eventornado, you can find it on the live sessions tab, which will be available soon there. Questions, you can ask any question that you want. You can use the Zoom chat whenever you want. One favor that we need to ask you, if you can start your question with the challenge number which your question is related to. For example, challenge number 1, I would like to ask this, something like this. Please ask your question related to challenges content, or also about the hackathon process and the platform. So if you have a technical question from the firms, from the challenge givers, then this is not the right live session. We will address the question at the end of each part of the warm-up live session. And why am I talking about part? Because right now we will see that in the agenda we have a part 1 and a part 2 of this live session. So in the part 1, after my brief welcome, in the part 1, we will talk about the hackathon. So what is the hackathon about? We will talk about who can join, who are the people that we are looking for to contribute in this amazing event. And also, we have a contribution from our great challenge givers. So we have 4 challenges, and then for each one of them, we'll provide more information about those. And after that, you will have the chance to ask your questions during the Q&A session, which will last around 10 minutes of Q&As. After we have replied to all of your questions, we will go straight to the part 2. The part 2 is the hackathon process. So what is the hackathon timeline? Where is the hackathon happening? In which venue? But more specifically, also very important, how to register on Eventornado, how to create a team, how can I find a team, how can you help me with matchmaking, how can I communicate with the mentor. So all of this part will be explained by me later on during this meeting. And of course, you will receive support during this hackathon. So you're not by yourself. We are providing you with great mentors that will be participating both physically and virtually during the hackathon days. And the end of this, of explaining you the mentoring part, there will be the last Q&A session about the hackathon process. So this would be the whole plan for today. I didn't present myself. I am Michele Erba. I am a senior project manager and hackathon coordinator at Pristine Agency, which is the company organizing hackathons, and Eventornado, which is the actual hackathon platform. So the software where the hackathon will happen. And with me today, there is also Mareke Maio. And hi, Mareke, welcome to the live session. How are you doing?
Hi, Michele, and hi, everyone in this session today. I'm doing great. I hope you are doing well as well. For the people that don't know me yet, I am the project coordinator of the FairyWind project, of which I will talk a little bit in a moment. And I'm also community builder at Ghent University. And so I am one of the organizers of this Hack4Wind hackathon. So, as Michele already explained, we'll have this webinar in 2 parts, and the first part is just a little introduction, and then we'll give the floor to the people that are going to provide us with the challenges, who are also here in the webinar today. So first of all, let's talk about the Hack4Wind hackathon as such. So I'm happy to say that this is the first time that for Belgium we are dedicating a hackathon event specifically for offshore wind and also specifically for academic participants only. So that's a first. Why do we organize this? Well, as you might know, the FairyWind project, which is the project on Belgian offshore PhD expertise, which is an ETF project, an energy transition fund project, and it is funded by FPS Economy, so federal. This is coming to an end, and as a final big event, we wanted to have all of the Belgian academics joining in this specific hackathon to find solutions for very specific challenges within our sector. So for FairyWind, the project and this hackathon is also supported by OBILAB, as you can see, and within FairyWind we have all of these academic partners involved, and so all of us are together in this event. Yes, please. So if you're asking yourself, am I eligible to join this hackathon? Who are we organizing this for? Then I can say that the participant list, let's say, will be very broad. Anybody in a Belgian knowledge institute doing research on a offshore wind topic, and that can be very broad, they are all welcome. And I want to stress here specifically that we welcome researchers both from a technological and also non-technological backgrounds. That's important because we are really trying to find multidisciplinary teams within this hackathon. So that means that everybody who's working on technical aspects, if that is the turbine, on a turbine level, on design, monitoring, or any of these kind of things, on the farm level, on new technologies like floating, airborne, but also people working on grids connections, or any of those kind of things. All of these people are very welcome. But also people working on the non-technological parts. So if you're working on the legal aspects, geopolitics, the social sciences like social acceptance, impact studies, environmental monitoring, and you can go on and on. If it is spatial planning, marine ecology, coastal engineering, marine law, any of these kind of people with those backgrounds are also very, very welcome to join. This is why we also stress that the hackathon is a non-coding event, because normally hackathons are usually for programmers making programs, making apps, making code. But this is not the case here. This is a very broad hackathon in a broad sense, so you don't need coding experience to join us. And finally, you are very welcome from PhD level up to professor level, and anything in between. All these people in any part of their career can join the hackathon. Yes, please. So before I give the floor to our presenters from the companies who provide us with the challenges, I first and foremost want to thank them again for offering these challenges to us, because without these inspiring challenges, there would be no hackathon. So all of these companies, which are, of course, as you can see, some of the biggest Belgian offshore wind energy companies that we have, they have all agreed to provide us with one of these challenges for you to find solutions for. So yes, I think we can now start with the first challenge, so challenge 1. And for this, I would very much ask Jochem from Parkwind to take the floor and give us a bit more background information on your specific challenge. Yes, please, Jochem.
Yes. So my name is Jochem Vermeer. I'm R&D manager at Parkwind. So I'm coordinating the research and development activities for the company. We are also, of course, we have a large pipeline of floating wind projects, and so this is why we are also looking at the different concepts. Floating wind is of course also a quite large potential, and probably then a bit over the next decade we will focus more on floating wind projects. One of the main challenges I would say of floating wind is of course the foundation, and due to the lack of let's say projects being realized, there has been a huge delay on the project pipeline of floating, and this is mainly resulted by the price increases. We were expecting that the floating wind market would decrease after the first demonstration project, but in the end, due to the supply chain and war in Ukraine, etc., the prices have only increased, and so that made that there has been a lot of delay on the project. but this makes as well that there have been continuously new floating wind concepts and more with respect to the foundations being developed. We on our side at Parkwind, we have done an analysis a bit over a year ago, let's say 2 years ago, of all the concepts that were there. And we did our first pre-selection, which the technologies that we would look a bit closer to. But now we are 1 or 2 years further down the line, and the amount of concepts have doubled. So it's getting very hard to oversee all those concepts and to select which designs we want to follow closer or invest time or money in. That said, we believe that there will be no one-size-fits-it-all solution. It will depend on the ocean conditions. For example, if you have selected a floater for the harsh conditions in the North Sea, in Norway, for example, it will probably not be the same as for the Mediterranean Sea. Yeah, just to be sure, we have developed a challenge. We don't want to ask you to do a selection of all the concepts that are there. No, we want you to design a framework which is able to select if a potential new floater or design is suitable for the conditions that are mentioned. And yeah, we want you to take the following parameters at least into account. It's not an exhaustive list. For example, material usage. You have a large thrust force which is acting on the rotor diameter. So you need a big platform to counter as a counterweight. So that makes that you need a lot of material. But there are concepts which enable to use less material, and that of course will result in a cost reduction. So material uses is definitely a parameter to look at. Industrialization potential. You want to go towards mass productions. The projects are getting larger and larger. So definitely the industrialization potential is something that plays a role. Storage requirements as well definitely plays a role. It's a bit related to the industrialization potential, but if you need a very large dry dock to construct one floater, and you would have to do that one by one, you will hijack the other port activities ongoing. So definitely that plays a role. The footprint area, the floaters, they are held in place with mooring lines. There are some concepts which have a very low footprint area, which enable to do other activities in the wind farms, for example, fishing. In some areas, this might be a requirement, so also this is a parameter to take into account. Maintenance options, how you will organize the major component exchange might be also a parameter. If you are close to the shore, you will probably use the tow to port procedure. But if you're far away in very harsh conditions where the weather windows are very small, you will go for on-site major component replacement. So those are all aspects that play a role. As I mentioned, this is not an exhaustive list, so please, think along and help us design such a frame.
Okay, wow. Thank you, Jochen, for this very clear explanation of your challenge. I would invite everyone, if you have questions for this specific challenge, to please now put them in the chat, and we will address them after we've discussed all of the challenges. So thank you, Jochen. For the next challenge, challenge 2, You can see already it starts a bit different, but you will get there as well. We would like to invite Timothy from the company Org, but this is a joint challenge between the company Org and also Jan de Nul. But Timothy is here today to shed more light on challenge number 2. Timothy, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Marijke. Indeed, I represent ORG. We are an architecture, urbanism, and systems design company based in Brussels, Antwerp, New York, and we will do this exercise together with Jan de Nul, a world-known marine contractor. And I think both of us will be complementary in tackling this exercise or in guiding you towards nice inventions or good solutions. Together with Ortelius and Mantis, we recently developed a model, North Sea Neutralizer. The reason why I show you this is that it sets, let's say, the scenery or the stage of the exercise that we would like to do with you. Next, please. It's a model that allows us for different stakeholder scenarios to define what is the best possible marine spatial plan according to these limitations or according to these boundary conditions. All scenarios have the same goal in common, which is to reach 300 gigawatt by 2050, and this for the Greater North Sea Basin. An example of a scenario. Next, please. Another example of where how we group wind if we only look, for example, at carbon emissions. A theoretical example because it does not take into account wake effects. Next, please. And the model allows as well to produce roadmaps. And I think now it becomes interesting for the exercise that we would like to do with you. So what you see here is starting from 2030 towards 2050, how the amount of wind capacity that will be installed within the Greater North Sea Basin. And these targets are based on the goals set by the Greater North Sea Basin Initiative, meaning 114 megawatt or gigawatt by 2030 and 300 gigawatt by 2050. Next, please. And our model allows as well to deduct or define all the elements, all the components that we will need to make this endeavor reality or become reality. Next, please. And one of these elements, and I think the previous challenge already mentioned it, temporarily storing wind turbines in a harbor. It means that to reach 114 gigawatt by 2030 and 300 gigawatt by 2050, that we're gonna have a huge impact on our harbors. And as you can see already in this scheme, by 2030, we will already miss, or we will need an extra capacity of 50 to 450 extra offshore harbor capacity to make to be able to install this capacity. So this leads to the challenge that we defined. Next, please. Is that knowing that we need to install these huge amounts of wind turbines in the Greater North Sea Basin, the question or the challenge we see is how are we going to do this? And not only from, let's say, a wind development perspective, but mainly from a supply chain perspective and primarily looking at our harbors. Will we be able to do this with the existing harbor capacity? Should we make choices, or should we maybe even shift to offshore production? So that is, let's say, the scene I set it. Let's say if we go to the next slide, I'll focus more into the questions that we would like to be answered together with you. I already raised the first one. Will we tackle everything within existing ports? Should we make selections in these existing ports? Should we look at the offshore environment? What of the production process or installation process could we place at sea, offshore, or should we look at a combination of both? I'm now primarily talking about energy production. You can imagine as well, by 2030, I think the first wind farms will be decommissioned. By 2050, more and more wind farms will be decommissioned. So as you can imagine, there will be a competition among harbors for harbor space for both installation and decommissioning of wind farms. And that's a question that we would like to tackle with you. And together with Jan de Nul, we would like to invite you to come up with strategies, both onshore, offshore, or a combination of both to tackle this huge endeavor.
Okay, Looks very promising and interesting, Timothy. Thank you for your explanation. This means we already go to challenge 3, and for challenge 3 we have Nico from Multi-Engineering to give us more insight on what this challenge is about. So Nico, the floor is yours.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Like Jochem was already saying, there are a lot of floating wind designs currently being pitched to several developers. A possible next step could be to look further than the current floating wind applications. First generation was bottom fixed wind. Second generation is floating wind with installations moored fairly close still to shore in order to export the energy to the onshore grid. But certainly possibly interesting for Belgium, as we have a very narrow coast. It could be interesting to start harvesting wind energy further away, because in some locations space is very limited and could conflict with other operations like fishing and shipping routes. So the idea is it possible to harvest renewable energy from the high seas beyond national exclusive economical zones, which also then would be become available for countries which are having a shallow or a small coastline, or even countries having no access to coast whatever. Now, in that case, if we would consider that we cannot use foundation structures anymore, we cannot use bottom fixed technology, and in some locations we also cannot use anchors anymore because it will be further and deeper. Another challenge will be how can we convert the wind energy to an energy carrier, either molecules or electrons, and bring this energy ashore. And how would we deal typically with maintenance? Because the further away, the more difficult it is to execute maintenance on this kind of installations. Next slide. So therefore, we challenge you to design a concept of a possible wind farm at the high seas, keeping in mind some questions to be answered, amongst others, how to solve the mooring issue. You could consider to equip the installation with a propeller, or there might be other smart ways to steer the floating wind farm or the swarm of windmills to the location where the best wind can be harvested. The wind energy, clear, is the source, but to what kind of energy carrier will it be converted? How will you produce that? And then how are you bringing this energy to shore? Then more operational, what about operations and maintenance and people to be put on board of these wind farms in order to do maintenance? And generally, what are the main advantages and disadvantages of such a wind farm? And our general question is to look into the feasibility, to possibly design a concept for this, and also if there are several options you would consider to give the advantages and the disadvantages of every individual option, and the impact of each of these choices you would make in such a concept design. That's our challenge.
Okay, very clear, Nico. Thank you for this. Very much an out-of-the-box one to think about. So that's exciting. Thank you for this explanation, and that means we are already on challenge 4, and for challenge 4 we have Dieter from DEME in the call. So Dieter, please give us some more insights on your puzzle question.
Thank you, Marijke. Thank you for allowing us to present this challenge number 4. This is about the power puzzle, as it's called, or the mismatch, both in time and in place, between energy production and energy use. Well, we are looking for how can we solve this mismatch. So if it's in time, what are the solutions to store energy? Should we centralize it, decentralize it? What type of storage? If it's in place, then it's about redirecting the energy. How can we bring it from one location to another location? And the conversion can be somewhere in between, either to use for storage or either to use to redirect. So next, please. Thank you. So we see it quite broad. It's not. It can be a technical solution, but it can also be regulatory, economical, environmental, because anything we will do will have an impact. So it's a quite broad challenge. So think broad. Okay, batteries, submerged options, land-based solutions. Could also be that the energy is produced land-based, but then need to be transported oversea, undersea to another location. Into what will we convert it? Their efficiency, impedance might all play a role. And then finally, how to organize it. Although this is not the only one where the legal framework comes in, but you might think that's a typical one where legal framework comes in. But in all aspects, also the economical part will for sure come in. So we will bring to the hackathon some experts, both live and online, to address any questions, whether it's technical or non-technical.
Okay, that was short and brief and very efficient, as we know you do, Dieter. Thank you very much. So those were the 4 challenges. I don't know, Michele, if we have any questions so far in the chat. I don't think there are any yet.
So far, yes. Yes. So if you want, you can leave your question here in the chat. Don't be shy. You can start with the challenge name if you have a question. But please be reminded that, yes, you have the chance to ask your questions now, but it doesn't mean that if a question comes to your mind later on, you can always ask them on Eventornado if you register. So that would be another option. First of all, also thanks to the challenge givers to finish exactly on time. Perfect timing. So I don't think we have any question. Let me check again. Yes, we don't have any other question. So again, Marika, if it's okay, I will start with part number 2, and then we can take all the questions on Eventornado. So let me talk to you about the hackathon process, right? Where the hackathon will happen, how can you register, and so on. So first of all, let's talk about the timeline. So we open the registration and the information in the end of November, and we will close them on the 24th of January. This means that you have to register by that date and also be in a team by that day to participate in the hackathon, because on the 5th of February, the hackathon days will start. So we will get together in Brussels. I will show you the venue in a second. And during the hackathon, we will ask you to submit some deliverables. We are still defining them. Allegedly, there will be 4 deliverables. And after you have submitted all of your deliverables during the hackathon days, on the 7th of February, it will be the time to pitch your idea. Again, here, we are not only providing you with some mentors to develop your ideas, but also will provide you with support on how to pitch. So we do understand that this matter for people that are not in communication, for example, can be quite harsh. It's harsh for me, for example. So we will provide you with a training on how to pitch in front of the jury members. After you pitch your ideas, the jury members will go on a separate room and they will evaluate your ideas, and then we will all come back on the venue to announce the winners. It will be on 7th of February at 4:30. So this was the timeline, the venue. The hackathon will be in Silver Square Bailey in Brussels. And if you're asking if you need to bring your own food, of course not. We will provide you with lunch, coffee, tea, water, and soft drinks. This is a preview of one of the hall of the venues where the hackathon will take place. Then, how to register and leverage Eventornado. So as I was saying before, the hackathon will run on the Eventornado hackathon platform. And right now I will show you very quickly how to register and how to join. So this is the Eventornado platform. This is the event. We have a home tab. On the right here, you have the timeline that I just showed you, and also a countdown as a reminder. And on the home page, we have general information, the one that we show you today. And also you can click on each one of the challenges to receive more information about those. Now, let's go up here. So what if I want to register? It's very simple. I click on register. And once I click on register, I will need to fill in the registration form. So I will need to provide my skills. For example, we have added some offshore skills here, infrastructure engineering. So you can search for them. You can see if they're there, and you can add them to your list of skills. This is very important because it will help us and help you find other teams, right? Because teams will be looking for other people with some defined skills, and they can find you only if you add your skills here. This is another very important question. You work or are affiliated with a Belgian academic institution, so please let us know. Fill in all the form. I'm gonna just fill in with the dummy data here for the sake of this meeting. Select the preferred challenge, dietary requirements, access requirements, and then you accept the terms and conditions. So once you fill in all the registration form, congratulations, you are successfully registered. And now you have access to another tab, which is the Hack Guide. The Hack Guide is the Bible for the hackathon participants. So if you click here, you will be redirected to this document here that contains all the details about the hackathon, the process, how to, the webinars, the deliverables, the evaluation, and so on. So we recommend you read this carefully before joining the hackathon. And after this, it's time for you either to go to the Participants tab. This is the Participants tab. You can see all the other people that are already registered. And for example, if you need someone with the data visualization skills, for example, you can ask this person to form a team together, and then you create a team together with them. So this is, let's say, the team formation tab, where you can find other people. But if you're joining with your colleagues already, or maybe with colleagues from other universities, you can already create a team here. So you click on Create a Team, you select one of the challenges, you provide the name of your idea, maybe an idea description. I'm just gonna copy and paste some text here, and maybe a team name. So I'm gonna call it Team No Jury in this case. I click on Submit. So once I fill in all the form, congratulations, you have successfully submitted your idea. And the new My Team tab appears here. And then in here, what you can do is to invite other team members to your team. So you insert their email here, and you click on Invite Member, and they're invited to your team. And during the hackathon, if you click on Edit Idea, I do it now, new fields will appear here, which will be the deliverable number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is the place for you to submit your deliverables during the hackathon. And last part of this page is the Teams tab. In the Teams tab, you can already see the teams that are registered. You can click on one of them, and you can apply to join this other team if you like it. So this is another additional team formation support that we give you. And then last part is the Discord channel. So basically, we have created a Discord channel for you, and once you connect your Discord user here, you will be redirected to Discord. So this is the place for us to communicate all together with the mentors prior to the hackathon, or during the hackathon if the mentors are not present there physically, with me, the organizers, and also with your team members. So remember, my team was called Team No Jury. So I now have a private team channel, and all the people that will be added to my team will be added here. And this will be the place for us to communicate. You can share links, you can share files, you can work here prior to the hackathon. We will have a mentor channel, an Ask the Mentors channel. So in here, we will provide you with the details of the mentors. And then you can also reach out to us in the organizers with team leaders. So all of these details are, again, contained in the hack guide. So you can explore that, and you have all these details here. As I was saying before, if you want to ask a question to me, you can go to, for example, organizer with team leaders or the general channel, and you can tag me here. You can search for Michele Erba. You tag me, say, hey, Michele, I need some help in some meeting deliverable number 1, for example. So you can do it here and tag me, or you can send me a direct message. So you click on my name, and then this is me. I cannot message myself, but here you will see a button that says send a direct message. So this will be the way to contact with me. New tabs will appear while we go. For example, the live sessions tab, as I was saying before, will appear here. And in here, we will share the recording of this live session together with the slides. And yeah, so this is basically how it works. You can, again, reach out to me anytime. Now it's time to go back to Mareke that will talk us about the mentoring.
Yes, thank you, Michele, for this demo. We just want to stress that you shouldn't be afraid to join the hackathon and think that you will be on your own and you'll have to do everything yourself. This is not the case. So as you already see, every single participant will, in the end, be part of a team. So you will always have your team members for support. But even then, you will also extra be supported by mentors. As we already said a couple of times, they will help you throughout the hackathon with your questions, with your problems, also content-wise. So not just how do I submit a deliverable, but also if you're stuck on something content-wise, you don't know how to deal with that, then that's the moment to go and ask one of our mentors. So in best case scenario, the mentors will be live with us for 2.5 days in the venue in Brussels. But if they can't make it live, then you will definitely have them available, as Michele just showed you, on the Discord channel. So that's an extra thing we offer you, so you get some mentoring and you're not on your own to solve all of those challenges. Next slide, please. We can already show you some of our mentors. So I can tell you there will be 4 industry mentors. So from all of the challenge givers, from the companies we've just heard from. From those companies, there will be 1 mentor per challenge, and those names will be announced soon to you, but so people will be dedicated for each challenge to help you out. And then there will also be 3 Hack4Wind mentors who are, let's say, independent from any of the challenges, but who can help you out on anything that's general concerning offshore wind energy. And so you have the 3 Hack4Wind mentors already here on the screen, which is Pieter Matthijs from VKI, who people who know the Fairwind project will definitely know as well. Then you have my colleague Sue Taalman from Ghent University, and there's also Bram Kloet from Siris, who is also partner in the Fairwind project. But next to the mentors, we already talked about the jury as well. So let's have a look at them. So as you can see, there will be a group of experts who will decide in the end which of the teams will be the winners for each challenge. So they will decide the overall best solutions at the end of the hackathon. And so for each of the challenges, they will select 1 winning team. So you can have like 5 teams competing for 1 challenge, and there will be 1 of those 5 teams that will be the winning team. As Michele already said, how will the jury decide the winning team? So you will have deliverables throughout the 2.5 hackathon days that you'll have to deliver to the jury. So they will decide on that base, and then also on your solution pitch or your team pitch, which you will do on Friday afternoon. So those will be very important decision bases, let's say, for the jury to know which of the teams will be chosen. So For the jury, it's actually the same kind of system as for the mentor. So let's have a look at who we have here. So here as well, we will have 4 industry jury members, so 1 dedicated person per challenge. And those names, again, will be announced soon. But there will also be 3 Hack4Wind jury members who are independent of the challenges themselves, so who are also overarching. And so the first of those is Professor Lieven van der Velde from Ghent University, but also, as you might know, he is the project supervisor of the Fairwind project. And then we have Diederik Moerman, who is from FPS Economy, so who's financing the Fairwind project, but who is also very much doing the follow-up of everything that's offshore wind related within the federal government. So he's also definitely one of our main experts. And then there will also be Pieter-Jan Jordaans from Ceres, who is also part of the Fairwind project, who's going to be one of our Hack4Wind overarching jury members. So this is the jury. And then maybe what are they deciding next to the winners? Michele, if you, yes. So as I already said, they will decide who the winners will be. So that means at the very end, those winners will also receive a prize. But there's one big if that I want to place here, and that is that the prizes should not be the reason why you actually decide to register for the hackathon. And so the biggest incentives for you to join would be definitely to have this experience. It is a very unique event that we offer you. So just being able to join us in this event and to have this experience, to push your own boundaries, to look beyond the research that you're doing now, to learn new things and to broaden your perspective, this will definitely be one of the biggest added values for you. Also the fact that you can make connections. The more teams we have that have several members of several universities, the happier you will make us. That's definitely the case. And also know that by joining and offering your solutions, you will be contributing to solve some of these critical challenges that we have in the offshore wind sector in Belgium at this moment. Now, everyone's a winner. It might be cliche, but it is very true. So for everybody that actually participates, we will have something in store for you, but only the winning team will receive a prize from the company that actually is going to provide you with the challenge. What those prices are, we're keeping that a little bit under wraps for the moment, but we will be telling you in the next couple of weeks. So yes, the floor is back to you, Michele.
Thank you so much, Marike. So yes, as we said, we will provide you soon with more information about the deliverables, more about the prices, but also something that can be really interesting for you are how your ideas will be evaluated. So in the hack guide, you will be provided with the evaluation process and criteria. So you will understand what will be the criteria that we will use to evaluate your ideas. Again, all of this information will be provided if you register on Eventornado. So to stay up to date with this step, I really recommend you registering for the hackathon, and I'm leaving the link here in the chat. But also join the Discord. I know that the hackathon will be in person in Brussels, but prior to the hackathon, we will send you a lot of communications, a lot of announcements, a lot of new information that will be ready. So this will be the place to stay up to date on all the information about the hackathon itself. Now, let me go again to the Q&A session for this part. If you have any question about the process of the hackathon, how to register, you can ask them here in the chat. If you're watching the recording of this video later on, again, I already explained before that you can reach out to me on Discord. So you can go there right now and then send me a direct message or send a message directly in the general channels. Marike, I hope that there are no questions because the information was really, really clear. But yeah, We
I
have
can
one, of course.
Yes, yes. We have one question where it says, how many members should a team consist of? Which is a very good question because indeed it was not in the slides. It is on the information on the website and on Eventornado. So a team consists of 3 to 5 members. And so you can have anything in between, so 3, 4, or 5, but that's what a team should be in size.
Exactly.
There you go. So I don't know if there's more questions coming. Not at the moment, no.
Not at the moment, yes. Okay. So yes, I don't know, Marek, if we want to already close this session and then continue on Discord. Is that okay?
Yes, that's perfectly fine for me. I will just take this opportunity, if I may, to thank Dieter, Nico, Timothy, and Jochem, and all of your teams for your support in our hackathon and for providing such inspiring challenges for us. I'm very much looking forward to working together with you and, of course, to working together with all of the teams in Brussels in February. So I hope everybody is feeling inspired to actually join us. And if you're watching the recording, please go and register now, and also make sure that you you invite all of the colleagues that you know that work in offshore wind to the hackathon, because the more people we have here, the more interesting the solutions will be. We're sure of this. So for me, this is thank you, and hopefully see you in February in Brussels.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.